right, lesson number 100, yay. 100 lessons, place value, rounding numbers. You've done this before, so hopefully this will be just pretty much some review here. If you look in the middle of the page, it gives you place value, what those numbers represent as far as the tens place, the hundreds place, the thousands place, etc. So let's just jump to rounding numbers. So let's say that we are interested in rounding a number such as 24,874, and we want to round it to the nearest thousand. So what we do, we circle the digit in the thousands place because that's what we're rounding. Okay, it said the nearest thousand. Then we look at the number to the right of it, and we look at it and say, is that number 5 or greater? If it is 5 or greater, this jumps up 1. If it's not 5 or greater, then it doesn't do anything. It stays the same. But everything else, regardless of what we do, changes to zeros. Alright, so again, we look at this number here that I have a red box around. Well, let me put it back. That I have a red box around, and we look at the number to the right of it, and if that number is 5 or greater, we change that 4 to a 5. We jump it up 1. Okay? And that's the case here. It's greater than 5. And then we just follow it with however many digits there are, in this case 3, and we just change them all to zeros. And that's it. Alright, so let's go ahead and do some practice. And if this is easy for you, just be happy. 47,258,312.065. What we're interested in is rounding to the nearest 10,000, so we're going to go to the 10,000, put a box around it. Okay? Then we're going to look to the number to the right. Is that bigger? Is that 5 or bigger? Yes. So we're going to write 47, 2. Everything to the left stays the same, always, 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 no matter if you round up or down. We change the 5 to a 6, and we put zeros everywhere else. Okay? So when we round, nothing to the left ever changes, everything to the right changes to zeros, and all we're doing is changing that to either a number one number greater, or we are not changing it at all. Alright, let's look at another one. 104.06245327, and we are changing it to the nearest thousandth. Okay, notice if I spell thousandth right, TH. If there is a TH at the end, that means we are to the right of the decimal. So the thousandths place. There's the 10, hundreds, thousands. Okay, so that's the one we're changing. Is this number 5 or bigger? No, it is not. If it's not 5 or bigger, we change nothing except everything to the right goes to zeros, which you don't even have to show. Just stop it at 062. Alright, let's keep going here. Round 0. This is 100.3 example. 41378 546. Alright, we're rounding it to the nearest 100 millionth. And again, there's a TH there, so we know we're somewhere to the right of the decimal. So where is 100 millionth? 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, 100 million. Okay, so the 8 is our 100 million. Let's get rid of all that. Put a box or a circle around our 8, and then we decide or we look to the right. Is that number 5 or larger? It is. So this 8 changes to a 9. So everything else is the same to the left of it. Nothing ever changes to the left. Change the 8 to a 9, and these all change to zeros, or you just don't write them at all. Alright, let's continue on. 100.4. We have 2.00316645667, and it says round it to 5 decimal places. Okay, when it says 5 decimal places, we're talking about to the right of the decimal. So it said 5 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That 6 is at the 5 decimal places. We look at that number, and it is a 6. It's a number 5 or greater, so we're going to change the first circled 6 to a 7, and then we can write a bunch of zeros or just write nothing at all. Alright, one more. 314.0364, and they have a line above that, meaning that this is repeating. It'll just go 364, 364, 364 forever and ever. Amen. Okay, so it says round to 5 decimal places. Well, let's go to the 5 decimal places. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's my 5 decimal places. And I'm supposed to round. So because the number to the right is a 6, that's going to change to a 7, or I'm sorry, a 4, and everything else is going to disappear. The next part of it says round to 9 decimal places. So then, so this is just another equation using the same numbers. So we go 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we go to here, look to the right, that's a number less than 5, so we don't round it at all. Everything here stays the same. Those turn into zeros. Nearest hundredth. Alright, here is 10. Here's the nearest hundredth, so this is part C. This is just, again, another problem within the same number. So it says 100, so that's a 3. So to the right is a 6, that's a number 5 or greater, so I'm going to change this 3 to a 4 and get rid of everything to the right. So 314.04. And then it says the nearest 10. Okay, nearest 10. Here is 10, right there. That's the ones, that's the tens. Alright, so I look at that, I look over here. What is this? It's a number less than 5. So this does not change, but everything to the right of it turns into a 0. So this turns into 3, 1, that 4 turns into a 0. And then everything else turns into a 0, so you don't even need the decimals there. Alright, so that is lesson number 100.